guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shakira, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make these adorable masks. There's 3 different kinds and I'll have the patterns linked below for you to print off and make your own. So we have the rounded mask, the straight mask, and the pleated mask, which is like the surgical mask that everyone keeps buying. But these are reusable and they don't pollute the planet. So try making your own mask. Because I've noticed lately a lot that people just throw off those the surgical masks, and they just leave them there, and it's getting really bad. But let's get to making these masks.
Down below you'll find the patterns for all of the different types of masks. If you need to change your sizing, you just increase it from anywhere between ½ inch to 1 inch on all sides. After you have downloaded and printed out your pattern piece for the straight cut mask, we can proceed to lay that on top of our fabric that we're going to use, and we're going to proceed to pin that down and cut out 2 of these pieces. You will need to have another 2 pieces to go with this. This will be the lining of our mask. Again, you can use the same fabric or similar fabric or a different fabric to make your mask reversible. Entirely, the design process is up to you. This is where you can also add in multiple layers if you would like to. Now with all our pieces cut out, we're going to proceed to pin them together down the curve, which would be where it lines up with the nose and our mouth. We will then sew along this in a straight line, remembering to lock in the start and the finish. Once you have sewed both curves, we are then going to take our scissors and cut a few lines along that seam to allow our fabric to lay a bit nicely along that curve. And please ensure that you do not cut all the way to the end where you've sewn, just a little snip along that seam there. Now we are going to take both of our mask pieces and lay them pretty side to pretty side, ensuring that our seams face outwards, and then we are going to pin the top and the bottom of our mask. Once we have pinned the top and the bottom of our mask, we can then proceed to do a straight line, sewing these pieces together. Ensure that you backstitch. Now you can turn your mask inside out in the right way, and we can begin to put in our elastic, and then the mask will be finished. Woo! Now I am going to cut some elastic. The width I'm using is 3mm, and I've cut 4 centimeters of elastic to use for each side of my mask. Now you can pin this into the side of your mask, and we can sew that once it's all pinned in place. To pin the elastic and the sides in place, you will need to fold your sides inwards and then place your elastic right in the corner. Now you're just going to sew a straight stitch and do a backward stitch a few times over where the elastic is to hold that in place securely. And as I'm going along, I'm just trimming the excess threads off the mask. And once you've finished trimming those last few loose threads, your mask is finished, and I hope you enjoy it. The next mask I'm going to be showing you how to make is the pleated mask. After you've printed out your mask, we're going to then take that template and pin it onto fabric for us to then cut out this mask. Now we're either going to draw in guidelines for the pleats of our mask, use pins to mark in the pleats of our mask, or use our template to pin in our pleats. Once you have all your pleats pinned into place, you can then sew down on the left and the right sides to hold our pleats in place. With the bottom and top ends of our mask, we're going to fold this over twice to create a hemmed edge that is finished. Once you have the top and the bottom of your mask pinned in place, you can go ahead and sew a straight line, ensuring that you lock in the top and the bottom of your mask. Now I'm just taking the same amount of elastic that I used for my previous mask and cutting this to use. My camera decided to play up a bit here, so sorry about the not being able to see it correctly for a bit. But now we're going to take our mask at the sides, and we're going to fold this over again and ensure that our elastic is folded over with it, and pinning that in place so we can then sew a straight line along that edge there. And once you have sewed those straight lines down the side, after you've finished pinning, your mask is nearly finished. I'd suggest trimming off the loose threads, and then voila, your mask is now complete. You can add as many layers as you want to this mask, and yes, style it as you would like. The next mask I'm going to be showing you how to make is the rounded mask, so let's get to it. I was using scrap fabric for my masks, so I took a while to plan out where I wanted to cut this mask out for the overall design of it. But once you have your pattern cut out, then we'll get to sewing. For the rounded mask, you also need 2 pieces for lining fabric. This can be any fabric that you would like. Preferably, I'm using cotton because that's been proven to filter out germs. Now lining our 2 pieces up together around the curve, we're going to pin down the curve that's going to run from our nose to our mouth in place. Once you have both pieces of fabric pinned in place, you can then sew along this in a straight line. After we've sewed the curve of our mask, we're going to then proceed to cut along that seam to ensure that our mask lays flat. After we've sewed the curve of our mask, we're going to then line both of our pieces up and pin the top and bottoms of our mask. After we've finished pinning the top and the bottom of our rounded mask, we're going to then sew that in a straight line. After we've sewed the top and the bottom of our mask, we can then proceed to turn our mask inside out so we can then add elastic to it. Now you're going to cut a piece of elastic for each side, and then we're going to fold the sides of our mask inwards once, and then put our elastic in the top corners and pin that into place. Once you've pinned all of your corners and sides into place, then we're going to sew that in a straight line, and then our mask will be finished. Do ensure that you trim off the loose threads, and then there you have it. That's the rounded mask. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this journey to make reusable masks, and if you do happen to make one, my Instagram's down below and you can just tag me in it. Thank you, and until next time, bye!